Alright guys, so with the PvP tier list out for May 2023 after the release of Pitaya Dragon as well as Royal Margarine, I think it's about time for me to update the PvE tier list as well. And I did kind of revamp the tier list as well, kind of compiled all of the kind of not recommended to just okay cookies altogether. And then now kind of really focusing on the situational cookies, the must raise, as well as like first to invest and all of the S tier cookies that are really good inside of the PvE and world exploration, things like that, if you guys don't have some of the first to invest or must raise right now. But before I get into the entire tier list, I do want to remind you guys that this is based on my opinion as well as my experience. I have pretty much cleared all of the master mode, dark mode, except for 16-30 right now, and the entire story mode as well, doing relatively well inside of the guild boss battle, cookie alliance, and all of the other game modes. So that's where I'm coming from right now, so I hope you guys find the video helpful. But let's dive in now. Instead of going into all of the bottom tier, let's just go straight into the first to invest. And these cookies are not necessarily the ones that are going to be better than the S tier or the must raise, all right? But these are the cookies that you have access to you right away as you guys start the game from either the event, like the Might of the Ancient, or you guys have the ability to buy through the mileage points after you guys do some gacha. All right, so keep that in mind. That is the reason why I have put the first to invest or first to kind of get right away, because that is the ability that you guys have at hand. So let's get started, and it is going to be of course with Hollow as well as Pure Vanilla, and then we got Milky Way, the newly added Space Donut, we still have Wildberry, Brood, Eclair, Captain Caviar, as well as Cotton. So as you guys can see, the two ancients from the Might of the Ancient and all of the rest of them are going to be available inside of the mileage shop because they are epic cookies. All right, so don't think that these cookies are necessarily better than the S tier or the must raise, but I believe that these cookies are going to be great to invest in for you guys to not only utilize inside of the world exploration, but also as great substitute for some of the S tiers and must raise that you guys might not be able to get right away because they are ancient, legendary, super epics, and things like that. All right, all of these cookies once again are available in that mileage shop, and I do recommend you guys to get them. A lot of these cookies are used inside of the world exploration in certain stages, as well as inside of now the guild boss battle and the cookie alliance, and great inside of some arena comps as well. So I would definitely recommend you guys, if you guys don't pull them in the gacha, then spend a little bit of mileage points to get these cookies. At least unlocking them is probably going to be a good idea for your future gameplay. And then now diving into the must raise. So if you guys ever obtain these cookies, all right, throughout your gacha or from your soulstone farming and things like that, then I definitely recommend you guys to raise these cookies at hand, because they'll definitely help you guys out throughout the entire world exploration, including the story, dark, and the master mode we have right now, and also the special episodes like Cookie Odyssey, as well as the Legend of the Red Dragon. So starting off, of course, is going to be Moonlight. Moonlight is probably hands down the best cookie right now inside of the game. As a DPS, has the ability to heal herself, she has the ability to dodge, she has the ability to sleep other enemies, as well as put the weakness debuff. So she will definitely be the best cookie you guys can ever invest in right now if you guys ever do get her. And then it's going to be Stardust. Stardust is also really good, being able to put that Sign of the Star debuff onto the enemies, causing them to take extra damage, causing them to have less healing, and all of those other effects as well. And it works really well with Moonlight as well, guys. So I do recommend you guys to level up our Stardust if you guys ever do get him. And then it's Pitaya. Pitaya is also a really strong cookie right now, the latest dragon cookie that we have gotten. And I do recommend, if you guys do pull him, and everybody should be able to, if you guys did start during the actual update and you guys have been grinding every single day, then you guys can definitely get Pitaya for free. So I do recommend you guys to raise up Pitaya if you have the ability to do so. And then the next one is going to be Sherbet. Sherbet is also really good. The Frost debuff is absolutely amazing, and it works on majority of the stages. Yes, there are some that the bosses and the enemies are going to be immune to Frost, but in the early games and a lot of the different stages and a lot of the different game modes, the Frost stack is absolutely broken, and I do recommend you use him if you guys have the ability to do so. And then the two epic cookies that I do recommend you guys to level up as well as invest in for the magic candy is going to include Squid Ink as well as Cream Puff. These two will help you guys out inside of master mode inside of World Exploration, dark mode, as well as the guild boss battle and the Cookie Alliance. So I do recommend, if you guys have the ability to do so, these two are probably going to be the ones I would recommend to invest in and get their magic candy for. And the last one is going to be the special cookie that we have. All right, it's going to be BTS. You can't get them anymore, but still, if you guys have them, at hand, then probably going to be a really, really good idea to level them up. And the perk of BTS is that you don't need any skill powders. As long as their level increases, their skill also increases with the level. You don't need any extra skill powder, no extra coins required. You just need to level them up. And they're also really, really good. The debuff resist, healing, the ability to put damage resist, as well as shield, and all that stuff is just really, really good. And it is going to definitely help you guys in a lot of the, situation where a lot of debuffs happen. All right, and now moving on to situational cookies. These are going to be like, healers, support, and really situational ones where you might really need them in certain, stages. And it's going to include Herb. Herb is a really good, situational cookie with the ability to heal as well as purify. Probably the only purify that we have going on that you probably want to use inside of the game. Not really recommend you use Clover. Okay, don't recommend that. It's just better to use Herb, and the healing is decent as well. All right, definitely recommend it if you guys didn't choose pure vanilla and don't have someone like BTS or Cream Puff. Definitely recommend Herb as a main healer. Next one is going to be Parfait as well as Pomegranate. These two are probably going to be the interchangeable one for some of the other cookies that you guys have. And Pomegranate has that 30% attack, has the healing. Parfait has the 50% debuff resist, as well as defense buff as well on top of the healing. So these two cookies are pretty good in certain situations as well, especially if you guys are lacking some extra damage or you just want some extra healing on top of whatever you have currently. And then next one is gonna be our Almond. Almond is used in certain situations, like when you guys need to use like a quote-unquote one-shot comp where you do need to clear the wave right away with the damage link, and you use someone like Moonlight, you use someone like Seafair, you use someone like Rai to spread the damage out even further than what they already deal. So Almond is very situational inside of the World Exploration and in some of the other game modes. So definitely I think Almond does fit this situational role. And the last one is, in my opinion, Vampire. Vampire is great in a lot of situations where you require a lot of single hit damage. But do keep in mind now, with a lot of the bosses being immune to a lot of these debuff, Vampire does kind of lack in the burst damage because you do miss out on the 100% crit. But still, Vampire has probably one of the highest, if not the highest, percentage for the damage output. So definitely, if you guys have raised, and invested in Vampire, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I would say right now, it's very situational because a lot of the main damage dealers are now focusing on the area effect damage rather than just single hit damage. All right, so these are going to be the situational ones. So now moving on to the next one is going to be the S tier, guys. These cookies are really, really good, but of course, I would say the must raise are probably going to be a bit better in most sticky situations. Of course, depending on the role that you guys are looking forward to. But these are definitely going to be my top picks or top recommended if you guys ever do ask me and you guys don't have some of these cookies, especially from the must raise. All right, and it is going to be Capsaicin. Capsaicin is really, really good inside of the PvE as well. Okay, yes, I did put Capsaicin in the S tier because you still have someone like Hollerberry, you have Wildberry, Milky Way, Space Dota, Brew, who are all really, really easy to get. All right, and access to a lot of the players, and also we have Pattaya now. So Capsaicin is good, helps out in a lot of the situation because of immortality, but some of these cookies are probably going to be a bit better inside of the World Exploration. And then we have Madeline with the Magic Candy, we got Molotov with the Magic Candy, as well as Purple Yam with the Magic Candy, and Werewolf with the Magic Candy. These four tanks are all going to have Magic Candies, and they're all really, really good, and all have their perks in definitely in their own ways. Madeline has a self-heal, Purple Yam has a self-heal, and they do pretty good damage and knock back enemies. Werewolf has the ability to transform, stun, injury, and do burst damage. Molotov has the crit percentage, stun, burn damage as well. So all of these cookies are definitely good in their own ways, and I do recommend level them up if you guys have the ability to do so. I would say out of all of them, Molotov is probably the one that you can use in a lot of different situations. all right, because you guys can use Molotov inside of the Cookie Alliance as well as Master Mode and Dark Mode and things like that. All right, the next one is going to be Frost Queen as well as Black Pearl and Sea Fairy. So I would say inside of versatility, Black Pearl is probably going to be the first one, and then Frost Queen, and then Sea Fairy. So of course Frost Queen does have the limitation in not being able to target bosses, but she still is able to deal some damage because of the buff that she did get in a couple updates back. And also inside of stages that are not going to be immune to freeze, she's actually going to do a ton of damage and buy you guys a lot of time as well. And the Sea Fairy in certain master mode right now, and a lot of the story mode too, this stun, the 3-second stun that has almost no delay, is really good as well. But I would say overall versatility, Black Pearl is the best because she really doesn't have any limitations or anything like that. And then next one is going to be Espresso with the Magic Candy. We got Latte with the Magic Candy, and we got Licorice with the Magic Candy. They're all really good. They all have their perks. Licorice has the ability to, summon minions and deal debuffs and stuff. Latte and Espresso, they do decent damage as well. I mean, Espresso does have the stun, but Latte has the silence and things like that. And then we got Prune Juice. Prune Juice is really good in a lot of, I would say, boss stages that don't have a lot of the, immune to debuff. And on top of that, the Prune Jellies are really good in tanking for your team as well. And then we got a Rye with the Magic Candy, very good single hit damage dealer, who has not too many restrictions. Okay, even though there's the burn, but you do have the attack speed buff and the extra damage that you just do from that actual skill. And then we got Oyster and Pinecone. All right, so I would say these cookies are definitely good in their own ways. Especially Pinecone is actually really good inside of the master mode right now too. Because of the stun that they are able to provide. And then the rest of them, they're good in their own ways. They can replace some of the cookies, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend to like raise them up because you do have all of these options on top. And these cookies are like, a lot of them are outdated. All right, they can be used, but not that great. Of course, the World Exploration and PvE mode, you can play the way you want. You guys can use the cookies you want, but it's just that if you want to have an easier time, if you do not want to really like super stress out on actually clearing the story mode and things like that, then I do recommend you guys to use cookies from the S and above. Of course, the situational is going to be situational. But I hope you guys found the video helpful. This is going to be the update in May 2023 after the Pattaya Dragon as well as Royal Margarine's release. And you guys can see right here, if you guys are wondering where Royal Margarine is, I put him at A tier along with someone like Dark Cacao as well as Crunchy Chip and someone like Clouded Cream as well. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all on the next one.